Hi beautiful mamas from around the world, how's it? And welcome or welcome back to Mothering in the Dark, where our focus, our intention and our inspiration is on igniting you. And in our contemplation station today, that is our exact topic, is on igniting you. Which you? What does igniting mean? What are we igniting? So the opposites that are created for a duality is what is known about us and what is unknown about us. And as always, the invitation with contemplation is to move beyond the tension of the known and the unknown and come into this space where we can explore and contemplate a deeper sense and a deeper connection of what igniting you may feel like, how it may be experienced, and always invite you so begin by taking a nice deep breath and let it go and let your system know, announce it, I am here. For those of you who are new, the space of contemplation is not group therapy. It's not a place where we are looking to define or give you answers. It's not a place where we are wanting to give shape and a fixedness to who you are. It's really a space where we invite you to investigate and to explore and to inquire, and in that open up the playing field and the experience of yourself. So let's consider, this is the space of you, let's consider what you feel in this space as you are relating to the world or engaging in the world. And once again, we're going to look at each of these and just check in with like a general sense that comes up for you. So as you connect in with you, and you might want to think about your way of relating in a specific situation in your life or specific place or under a specific role. So if that's the way you would like to do it, there's no wrong or right way to do it. But what we are not doing is we're not getting a sense of how you are expressing yourself and putting any measurement to that, or putting any value judgment on it. We're not getting locked in or fixed in with but a few of the ways that we express ourselves and we relate in the world and we identify. Okay, so if you're ready, give yourself a little thought about the way you speak. There's something in the you-ness of you, in the words you choose, in the tone you use, in the speed at which you speak, and just get a feel for you might get a sense of how I speak when I'm at work. Maybe I speak quite differently when I'm with my friends. Notice how you dress yourself for a situation. Also, once again, not with a sense of judgment about whether it's right or wrong in the way that you dress, but to more feel into, like, where does that style come from? Where does that inspiration and curiosity come from? You know, and although you may not experience it directly, consider your body language or the, you know, I'm very handsy, as you might have picked up. But the way that you move your body and the way that you either consciously or unconsciously carry yourself, stand in proximity to people, you know, in a crowd. And don't become fixed with any of this. When you're conversing, how do you converse? Are you a listener? Do you get lost in something when there's something very exciting that you're speaking about, or, you know, and you've got to get it all out? Or how do you generally converse? Willingly? Only on demand? And then decorate. How do you create the space around you? You know, and whether you flush with resources to do it or not. What is the isness of you? Does it even matter? Or is it something that the style of which can seriously create like an emotional space for you? And when you experience the needs of others, what does that, you know, how do you come out through that expression in the needs of others? So don't put judgment on yourself around it. We're just having a look. We're just noting things at the moment. How would you say your overall mood? Affects or fills like the space around you? And the way that you assert yourself. How does that happen? What are your aspirations? And then the elements of your physical body, whether it's healthy or unhealthy, whether it's a shape or a size that you accept or don't accept. Whether your physical body features very highly for you, or there's something that feels quite elusive and it's there, it does what it does. Also in the space around you, though it might feel that it's inside of you, is your inner narrative. Your inner narrative is really giving the perspective or adjusting how we are manipulating any of these attributes or elements in the space around you or us. Which laws tend to govern this expression of yourself? There are so many groups of laws. There's laws of institution, there's laws of belief, there's laws of physics, there's laws of our own self-regulation. Which identities do we use to express ourselves? And where does our curiosity on what we are curious about, how does that influence the space around us? And our intention or our goals. Do they stay very present in these attributes or expressions? And once again, there isn't a right or a wrong way. And how do we express our will and our desire? Okay, so as we're moving into the sense or the space of what we project or express or communicate, I think what we are realizing is that none of these, while some may be more consistent than the other, none of these are fixed. They're all changing. They all very much depend on a situation, and on a number of internal and external factors, our circus and our monkeys that is going on around us. And sometimes, maybe another layer to this or another add to this is how we negotiate and how comfortable we feel about the fact that these change and can change radically. Because while it is a way that we are expressing ourselves, and maybe in our social situation even identifying and selling ourselves as a package, so to speak, there is that underlying knowing that that package would be attributes that we can intend and manipulate, and even and I don't say manipulate in any negative sense. I say it's when we're actively choosing to adjust something. When we're using our ability to express our will and pursue an aspiration or state our position, our opinion, our beliefs. Okay. So while these are all, not all of, but these are some of the elements that we have or communicate in our space, we've noticed that they are ever changing. So we can't really say that it's something that we can trust, or it's something that is consistent, or something that is unchanging. So when we are going through a space of chaos, where even how we're expressing and what we're expressing might not only be changing, but might be quite unpredictable to us, or surprising to us, or concerning to us, because we are expressing elements of ourselves that we haven't previously identified with, or we don't like identifying with, or we thought we might be able to say at some point in our life that we categorically aren't. So the changing of the way we express ourselves, or the vulnerability to this expression being changed by outside circumstances, actually creates a sense of not really being able to trust these, not putting our trust in it, whether we are conscious or unconscious. Even if we are in the space where we're still kind of feeling, but yeah, if I just keep on meditating and being aware, I will get to a point where I have this consistent mood, and where all of me and the way I express myself is aligned. It's an idea. But if we can't trust, we can't depend on all of this. We also don't need to abandon all of this. Okay? Then what can we trust? If the you thought you were and felt confidence in and felt reliance in, and maybe even created confidence and reliance in the relationships around you by being so beautifully consistent. Just becoming a mum. Think about how much that changed your preferences, the laws that governed you, the choices you made, your inner narrative. Your identity, so many of them changed. The way you decorate your house certainly changes. Well, it did for me. Okay, so if the space around me is not what I'm expressing into it, right? If it's not what I can define, if it's not something that I can give a shape to, right? Then it's just space. And how frustrating that could feel to the part of you that wants to know who you are and have a sense of agency over how you can exert yourself to relate and build and grow in the physical world. It's not a new teaching, it's an ancient teaching. And from many different perspectives, where we talk about being the observer, talk about being the witness. In religion it's be still and know I am. There's a Zen, a beautiful, I think she's a Zen teacher, she might be Buddhist. But she just always says, stop. Just stop. I often speak about Michael Singer, the author of The Untethered Soul. And his message is so similar. In the stop, in the be still. But he gives a kind of a physical action, or something to do with our body, that brings us into the awareness of the space in between all these ever-changing expressions and definitions and manipulations of aspects of ourselves. And it gives the beautiful teaching of, don't try and stop any of this. Don't try and stop your mind. Don't try and stop your thinking. But take a breath and relax your body completely. And what you do is you create the separation or the distinction between the words, the expression, and the space of you, which can be represented by this beautiful color yellow. Because there's so much of the getting stuck, of the getting fixed, of the getting attached around the sense that, but I fear the unknown, or the dark and the unknown is something to be feared. Okay? But in truth, we can only fear what is known, and what we have experienced, or what we've witnessed someone else experience. And what we think is known here, that should give us a sense of safety and comfort, which it It can momentarily, but it's not lasting. It's not a truth within us. It's a expression and a design that's suitable for a moment to achieve a certain goal, and so what is known to us is not lasting and reassuring, or necessarily speaking to the center of us, the part of us that is not changing. And it's not changing because it's static, but it's not changing because it is undefined. It's a space. So how could we ever get our mind around being able to trust a space that is not defined? Gosh, it's even impersonal, kind of like the sun that just shines on everyone. It's an impersonal space. How can we find a sense of feeling connected and grounded in a place with no definition, with nothing to hang our hat on, with what feels like no agency to create and especially when the physical experience of it is just that. It's being still, relaxing your body, just being in the space of nothing. What does that help me? It doesn't give me answers. It doesn't give me direction. It doesn't guide me. Doesn't give me words. And within this space, as I'm sitting in my stillness and my peace, and I observe, okay, this is the way I move. Noted. And I'm thinking about the needs of others at the moment. Noted. I'm not getting rid of any of this, but I'm also not engaging in any of it. So that the yellow part, the space, the part beyond what I've come to know about myself thus far, or what I've been able to imagine, or what other people have told me, the part which is essentially defined as unknown. How can something that's unknown give me a sense of feeling centered, of being able to trust? I mean, what am I trusting here? Well, I'm not really trusting anything. I'm just putting my awareness into here and now. And maybe I'm sitting with the discomfort that there's nothing happening. Okay, there's that thought, there's nothing happening. But as Michael Singer says, who's noticing that nothing is happening? You know? And is it okay that I can go into the space which is blank, and I can be there in darkness, not seeing an angel, not seeing a light, not getting an answer, you know, not waking up and feeling like I can carpe diem or change something. How do I just be in that space? Well, if for now you need to know a benefit, just the benefit of relaxing your body, create space within. But that's not really what you're looking for in terms of where's my center? Where is that feeling of connection and belonging, even if all of this is taken away? You know, including all my physical security. What does being in that space help? What does it give me? What does it bring me? And it's more, I suppose, initially what it takes away. What it takes away is losing ourselves in each of our attributes, in any of our identities. And it is surpassed the problem and the solution in that space. But there's not nothing there. There's not nothing there whatsoever. Even if it is quiet, even if it is black, even if there are no signs or symbols or, you know, even if it's absolutely nothing, what you're doing is you're creating the space. Like the black sky is a space for the stars and all the planets and it's our night bodies. And in this space of the unknown, you're not necessarily going to get any collective advice or anything definitive, so to speak. I mean, you may get an instruction like stop eating sugar or a feeling around that. I'm not saying that that kind of information doesn't come up in that space. But what I am saying is it is in this space, in the time that we've spent in this space, that really holds what it is that how we express, how we move, the laws that govern us. Because entering the space is connecting into the you that is observing all the elements of you, all the aspects of you, the mother, the problem, the goals, the plan, the unconscious. You know, I mean, it's beyond what you have put in to yourself physically, or what has been put into you. I know Wayne Dyer used to call the space spirit, and he'd say when you are in spirit, you are inspired. We're not talking about like any religious laws or ways of thinking here, but it's a beautiful, I found them beautiful words to connect us in with a center that isn't a definable location, but it is very known to us and very familiar to us. Even though it's quiet, even though it's still. It's an incredibly high vibration. Because we are in peace. We're in nothing. We've moved beyond the push and pull of right and wrong. And we're just in this open space. And then we get up and we get dressed and we engage in the world again. And we do all of these things again. But we do it from the perspective of awareness. And noticing how we move and morph from one situation to the next, as if we're watching our personality or our identity in lots of different situations, and we're noting them all, but we're not going into dissecting them or measuring them, putting them against each other or arguing them. We are being aware and we're noting. And all of this noting is held in this space that is beyond what we've thought and done and learned, taken in the physical reality. And this space is what gives all of these ways of expressing itself, just by noting it, not by dissecting it, not by judging it. They have become channels to start expressing an alignment with you in your center, which goes beyond into what I've called our unearned abilities or our unearned talents. And as we are moving mindfully or in awareness through the way that we are expressing where we're going, who we're meeting, and we just taking note of it. We're not taking shape in any way. The igniting of you is where the space, the night sky, if you think about it, if the night sky wasn't there and it was just stars, it would just be this glaring light, okay? But we're able to experience the beauty of it because there's the darkness, and then there's I'm going to say a fixed celestial body or astral body, whatever, planet, even though I know that that's ever changing. It's allowing the space and the definition to create a picture. And this allows the parts of us that are already created, that we don't need to get about ordering and planning and working on or defining and building, okay? Because that we do. Trust me, we overdo. Our mind is very clear. And the universe is very clear on what we want, where we're going, what we like, what we don't like, what we think, and all of those things. Okay, but with the space, from a space of peace, which is an incredibly high vibration, it gives every way of expressing itself, it transmutes it up into a slightly higher vibration. Okay, or it guides and evokes aspects or elements of us which we are not consciously manipulating or planning. It's the unintentional part of us to express in a situation. And ultimately spending more and more time in the observer position, where we are experiencing our physical body as relaxed, where we are allowing ourselves to be the watcher and not the conversation, or the many conversations, or the many identities. And from this place as watcher, where we can observe what all the different elements of our system are doing, there's that consistent, never moving, never changing watcher. And it is within this space that we are ignited, that everything that we have learned and worked on is amplified or combined in a totally different way, or takes a different journey that's a lot more aligned with the part of us that is unknown. Because in our newness and our growth, let's be honest, it's unknown, it's new, it's different, it's ever evolving, it's expansive. And so this place that we see as empty space is actually both nothing and everything. And the part of us that wants to, or needs the sense of, but I need to plan for the future, but I need to know how the future works out, I need to know what's going on, when we want our future to be known and defined and a clear pathway ahead, and that we may be very stuck and trapped and overworking it over here, because the unknown has been set up as something to be feared, and that if we can't understand it and define it, then it's not trustworthy. But now in this space, beyond the tension between the two, in the space where the unknown is actually where all the potential and the richness, and I'll say it again, where our unearned abilities come forward, where our inspiration and there's times where we feel this incredible sense of truth or clarity. The more time we put our attention there, what you focus on becomes more. So how twixy does that feel for the mind, that when I focus on nothing, I become more? But when I focus on everything at the same time and try and micromanage and negotiate it, I actually become less, or I stay stuck. And so in this nothing, once we get comfortable in just stopping and taking a breath and relaxing our body, dropping our shoulders. Don't get too intense here about, is my body relaxed enough, or I can't relax my stomach, or just drop your shoulders, take a breath, announce that you're relaxed. Don't try and stop any of this. Just notice. And as often as possible through the day, connecting to the space of you. And that is what you trust. And it's not trusting a definition of the future. It's not trusting a definition of you. You just trust in that moment. You'll just be in peace in that moment. When we bring a high vibration to a low vibration, the low vibration transmutes. If I light a candle in a dark room, the dark doesn't get up and go outside. What happens is the dark becomes a little bit lighter. I light another candle, becomes a little bit lighter. I light another candle, becomes lighter. I light 100 candles in a room. That room's very bright. And for me, one of the truths here, in the space, I decided not to say it, that thought went away. I think what I wanted to say is, this is an impersonal space, in that there's nothing you need to do to earn it. But yet in its impersonal nothingness, it ignites such beautiful, precise, specificness in you, of you, that part of you couldn't actually ever imagine, and even in your best visualization, when your repertoire of achievements, and then this becomes the more trustworthy part, when you just being with it in that moment, and you move into the next moment, and you move into the next, but all you bring in is the awareness. You've got your conscious intentions, you've got your idea. I mean, we're not going cowboy on life here, where we just sit under a peach tree and meditate all day. We still engage in the world, but the uniqueness of you and the energy of you is not only surprising to yourself, but it starts creating the space which we have all worked so hard to make happy and satisfied and balanced and problem-free and, successful. It's the space that ignites that in you, but taking into consideration the you beyond what you've ever conceived. while still feeling that you are you, even if all of this changes, you know. And then the space can start returning a sense of all the things, the opposite of what we associated with the unknown. There's delight, there's surprise, because we're not micromanaging and planning everything. And we're not only expecting things based on what we know, see, can taste, touch and feel, you know. And yeah, it does bring out the power of our innocence. The power of our wonder. What it does is it opens us up. And while there may be a period of time where it just feels really weird adjusting to it all, because I'm so used to this being the tools that I use, you know, whether I'm carpe dieming it or whether I'm just trying to get through the day, I am planning, you know, I'm trying to manipulate and structure and make my day be as I wish it to be. But we forget about the space that we're doing it in, and that space is so much bigger. I mean, when they measure our energy, as in what all of these things, and their vibe, their calibration, their speed that they go at, the electricity that they emit from us, because we're electrical and we're magnetic, you know. There isn't a machine that has been designed yet that can actually measure how far that, what would we call it, that speed, that energy. They've only been able, and I stand to be corrected, but they haven't really measured beyond, you know, been able to measure beyond like 50 meters either side of us. So I think we can leave it there for today. And I hope that, although I didn't bring any new information to you, all of this work is well discussed and well expressed. I hope that the way in which we did it today can maybe reignite your trust or your willingness to come into the moment and to explore what feels like nothingness in the face of feeling like we need everything. And to give yourself the opportunity to demystify the idea that the unknown, that the dark is a place to be feared and avoided and not spoken about or even hidden. So thank you so much for joining me today, mamas. May you have a very peaceful week. If this resonated with you, if you enjoyed the style of this, please let me know in the comments. Feel free to like, share and subscribe. I post every Tuesday and every Thursday. And if you would like a private intuitive session, which is really where I don't get any of this information from you, it's where I go quiet and I go into the space and I allow whatever is unknown, of course all of it would be unknown to me. I ask what is significant in igniting you in your here and now, right now. And then we do get information around different systems in your body, cellular level, emotional, mental, ancestral, you know. and try to put it in a space or in an expression that allows you to experience yourself in a higher vibration, or in more freedom, or in more comfort in the unknown. So all of that information will be down below, and until the next time, so much love.